Okay, all right. So again, can everybody see the presentation now from the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, talking about technology and hearing health. This is something that's actually, very important and actually dear to me. Just recently, I have had a 6-month bout where in my left ear, I had a blockage going on, which caused me to have some challenges with hearing. And they say that you have to walk in someone's shoes in order to really have an idea and understanding of what they are experiencing and what they go through. And that is so true. I've worked for many years. My base skill foundation is as an occupational therapist, and I've had a lot of experiences in working in the past with individuals who have hearing challenges or hearing impairments too as well. But it wasn't until I had the experience myself that I really felt a full understanding of what challenges an individual has to go through on a day-to-day basis, and what they may experience just, in the real environment when there is difficulty with hearing the world around you. And that is actually so, so, so important. So I am very glad here today to talk about, these technologies that can be helpful as it relates to, again, hearing and how that's concerned. So the objectives we're going to talk about today is wanting to make sure that everyone here has an understanding of what assistive technology is. Also, again, we're going to talk more about, again, our program, which is the DC Assistive Technology Program and the services that it provides. And then we're also going to talk about what is available as far as assisting and helping individuals in the DC community to know what the available technologies are out there and what can be potentially experienced in order to be able to help you in just in the real world and whatever your natural environment is. Okay. When we talk about assistive technology is considered any piece of item. It could be a software, it can be a customized product, anything that is utilized in order to improve functionality of individuals who have various type of disabilities. In summary, we just say that assistive technology is any useful technology or item that can help a person to function in order for them to be better. All right. Now, again, as I shared with you, we're located here on 220 I Street, and that's Northeast. And here we actually have our offices. And in one of the particular suites and offices, we have our DC AT Resource Center. It is here at our resource center where we have various type of technologies that can actually, with an appointment that will be set by anybody who will call in to set the appointment, you can come in and actually get demonstrations of some of these technologies. We have various type of devices as it relates to hearing, for hearing augmentation. And I just want to note this though. We don't have, however, hearing aids, nor do we have cochlear implants that we have here. Those are considered medical-based devices, and those devices have to be obtained and gone through a hearing health professional because it's very specific. However, we do have many people who do come here who already have been identified and do have hearing aids, or they do have cochlear implants, and they still have actually benefited from coming to our resource center, seeing how some of those hearing aids or the cochlear implants can be utilized with other technologies and also better augment what they're doing too as well. So I don't want you to think just because if you wear a cochlear implant or if you have a hearing aid that you would not benefit from coming. You most definitely can benefit. And it is worth setting up some time and appointment if you feel there's something that can be beneficial to you. When you come to the appointment, again, you get demonstrations of various type of technologies. And then if there's something that you may identify that may be of benefit to you, we do also have what's considered our loan program. And so it's almost like what we consider our technology library. And so the idea is that it's okay to come in, get a demonstration, and also to have an opportunity to try it out here, but to have an opportunity to have a loan where you can take it with you and take it for a period of time. It gives you an opportunity to know how will it work for you in your natural environment? Will it be a benefit for you in your natural environment of your everyday life? And so you do have the opportunity to be able to, again, take out a loan up to 4 weeks to see if it's something that will work for you. In other words, it's a try it before you buy it or purchase it to see if it's something that will really work for you, as opposed to getting something that may or may not work. And that is definitely something that's great to have an opportunity to do so. The loans are at no cost. Again, it's just like a library. You would come in, you would check it out, almost in similarity as you're checking out a library book, and have the ability to, again, have see whether or not the technology that you have tried out here will also benefit you in your natural environment. And so this is a great, great resource, and we invite anyone and everyone, and if they would like to be able to come and try things out, if they choose to do so. Now, hearing health connection. Again, as I was experiencing my experience, over the past 6 months, one of the things that came to my attention was new research that actually has taken place overseas in the UK. And it's so interesting to see how the connection things are there. Isn't it amazing how we just realize that, all of our different components of our bodies are interrelated and they do have a connection. Well, they recently found out in research that there is a connection between hearing and heart health. Again, there's a connection between hearing and heart health. And what the researchers found, is a secondary effect, actually, is that when individuals have challenges with hearing sounds or they have challenges with actually hearing within conversation, that could actually cause a psychological stress. And with those continued psychological stresses going on for over a period of time, they have found that many who have hearing challenges also are starting to actually demonstrate challenges with heart health. And so they were making the connection there, as the hearing being there too as well. Again, as I shared with you, I had my own challenge, and in reading the articles, I could actually see and understand. Many times I would have to struggle when I would be in conversation to hear what someone was saying. As I said, it was affecting my left ear. I would position myself with my right ear in order to hear. But I found myself, again, definitely having a level of stress really trying to hear what was being said. Or if I was on the phone and having challenges, and I would have to make sure I position it with my right ear so I could hear what was being said, and just struggling. Or even at work, participating in meetings when there was a challenge too as well. So I truthfully could understand what they were saying about the fact that there is a connection there with that. And so that's why it's so important that we make sure that we do all that we can in order to address any challenges that we may have as far as hearing impairments are concerned. So again, if it means going out and making sure that you are able to get to that hearing health professional, and get what's needed, especially if there's a great need for you to have specifics such as hearing aids or even a cochlear implant. And so those things are very helpful for that. Now, in my case, it was something short term, but I did need something in order to actually to help, actually augment or help me actually with hearing, because again, I was being impacted at that time too as well. So again, just wanting to reinforce the fact that it's even with hearing impairments, even though that is again the main thing that you're dealing with, there's also the component also to think about that it is a connection with your health. And that piece is so important too as well. And Vera, I just wanted to let you know, 80s they say is the new 60s. So with that being for that too as well. But it's important that we all have a place where we can actually stay healthy and do the things that allows us to keep healthy too as well. So it's all the components working together, eating right, getting enough rest and sleep, but also in addition to that, as we're talking about today, making sure that we are able to hear adequately too as well, and that we're not straining in order to do so, and that we're doing all that we can in order to actually do so to go from there. So that is actually just so wonderful that to know and understand with that information. I just wanted to share that with the group of the connection between the hearing and heart health. Okay. All right. So one of the things that we have in order to talk about too is in getting into it as well is that we know that we have, when we're sitting in front of the TV and we want to actually make sure that we're listening, we're able to hear, or we're able to understand what's happening as it relates to whatever show that we're watching, whether we're watching a show, we're watching sports, whatever it may be. And so those things that we can actually do in order to help us to be able to actually to have it so it's better for us, those are the things that we want to take a look at doing so that it can have a significance for us. One,
Leonard,
yes,
sorry to interrupt, but we have a question from
sure,
Russell.
sure.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
that's
Russell.
my friend Russell.
No, I maybe my question is premature, because maybe you're covering it. I did have some contact with legal services some years ago, and they're rather helpful to me by loaning me some devices um, that turned out to be useful, and before I actually put down a lot of money to pay for them. I guess my question really is hearing technology is changing quickly. One of the major issues, is how to keep an inventory of devices, good hearing devices on hand and up to date. And that strikes me as something which is not inexpensive, and I wanted to find out, how you handle that.
Well, Russell, that's actually a great question in reference to it. We try to see and investigate with the technology out there, those things that are and have demonstrated a level of dependability, and those things that are actually working too as well. But just as you said too, as well as things are changing, what we also have found too is that as the technology is changing out there, there's a lot of everyday use technologies too as well that are building in more built-in features to assist others in being able to actually also utilize what they have. And that's also been a wonderful thing. And what we've been finding is that people they already have certain things. So, for example, with their smartphones, that they may actually have features that they already have access to, but were never even aware that those features actually even existed. And so, in some cases, we've actually had people to come in too as well where we actually demonstrate for them on their own device that they bring in features that they never even knew existed, but found, oh, this can be beneficial to me and actually can walk away with something that's not just a loan, just as you had a loan too as well, but also something that they can keep with them that they already have. And if we do have technology that's demonstrated to them when they come and they find that it can potentially be beneficial, they can also do as you did and actually check it out for the long period and take it into the environment to see if it will work for them. Did that answer your question, Russell?
Well, let me go back and tell you a little about the experience I had. I was looking when I came into your offices, and this was, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago. I don't remember exactly. It was before the pandemic. I was looking for a device that would enable me to hear the doorbell.
Mm.
Um, and they showed me a system, which was designed for that purpose. And I borrowed it, and that was helpful, not because the device per se was anything that I wound up buying. It wasn't. In fact, it was out of date. But what it did was to point out to me an issue which I had never considered before, namely the distance between, in this case, my front door and the area where I sleep, which is a third floor, excuse me, a third story bedroom suite. And I found out that what I borrowed, in fact, did not, do the trick in the sense of, the distance was too great. But it did, as I say, point out to me an issue that I never considered. And in that sense, it was quite useful. And I was able to go ahead and talk to people, about a device, with some and raise the questions. But I guess the question is, the device that you showed me, as I say, was out of date.
Yes.
But it was helpful. But the real question is, how do you finance? This keeps changing and keeps getting better, but keeping an inventory of equipment on hand, to demonstrate and to loan out, strikes me as probably not cheap. And I'm just wondering, how you deal with
Oh,
that.
yes. So what you're saying is very true. And even now in these times, it's actually even more challenging when so many different things, the funding is being cut. But just again, to even speak to what you were saying, because of the changing technology, we're finding things such as, when you came in those years ago, there had to be a device. There are now possible options, depending on the type of phone that you have, for apps that could actually do something, especially with smart homes that can connect with your doorbell, that could actually work as a push notification with your phone. So we're also finding that even though you're absolutely correct, more expensive items are harder to say that we're going to be able to purchase and keep in the inventory. We're also finding that because of the improving with technology and what's happening out there, there's certain things that are actually being used that are not necessarily as expensive, but can just be just as effective as that too as well. And that's the whole thing, is in reference to coming and trying to see if it's available. It may not be available in order to do so, but that piece is there. I was just sharing with Alex earlier too, is that somebody had asked about what is the source in reference to assisting, as far as people getting assistance with paying for hearing aids. And I shared with her, we got inundated with phone calls coming in just in reference to this piece. And when I looked into it further, I saw that our name was actually up connected with the phone number. And it really was actually initially supposed to go to the Office of Disability Rights. Well, that particular program evidently right now is not functioning because they've taken the website down. But our name is actually still up there in reference to, what's happening with that too as well. So even in these times where things are meek, we're wanting to be as best possible we can as a resource to say, let's take a look and try out certain things. Let's see what we possibly can. And of course, we're not going to have access to everything, that's there. It's just not possible as far as the funding to do so. But we want to try to take a look at this, explore as many possible options that we can potentially to be able to assist you.
In the interest of time, because I know you have a lot of really good content, Leonard, I think we should get back to the presentation.
Sure.
Yeah, it is 4 o'clock, so I just want to make sure
Did we cover the base?
yeah,
All
we
right.
keep covering everything. But if people have questions, please put them in the chat. I think that will
Yeah.
be easiest, and then we can make sure we get to them.
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
thank
So
you.
not a problem. So just to cover the bases here, there's other options now. Again, talking about those built-in features, especially with the smart TVs, such as the voice guide or audio descriptions too as well. And this is where, again, you can get information read out to you, what's on the screen, and also provide audio descriptions too as well. Of course, going into the settings and actually being able to turn those on varies based upon the type of TV that you may have. But it does allow, again, for the possibility for the options to be there. Again, that's something to try out that they have. And again, it's a unique thing as far as the individual too as well. I found that some people do like what they have as far as the voice guides and the audio descriptions too. Others may find it annoying or may not like it, at all too as well. So, but knowing that the options, having the built-in features are there as far as being able to go in and turn off the feature, that's something that's actually, something that's there is ready also. Again, I'm at the end of the presentation, I'll talk to you about a service that we have that can assist and help individuals if you find that you may have challenges knowing how to do those things, and even if necessary, coming to your home and helping you out with that as well. Also, again, in addition to that, we have features such as closed caption, which can actually also be implemented for some of the smart TVs too as well. And just understanding that, for those shows that actually have those things enabled, have the opportunity to do so, that it can actually provide the closed captioning. In some cases too, you can modify to fit the way that you would like to view it and see the closed captioning too on your TV screen too as well, but it gives you those additional options to actually have in order to be able to enjoy a show that you're watching, or in order to be able to enjoy a program that you are looking at too as well. And it's great that we do now have more options that are there that do allow the opportunity to be able to use features such as closed captioning and have that, as whereas before that was not always the case. Now, in addition to actually talking about TV features too as well, we know that there's a lot of features that we have with our phones. Starting off with iPhones, of course, I also talk about two Androids as well, depending on what type of phone that you actually may have. Again, technology is actually improving in the different type of features that are being allowed as far as an options that are being made available for those who may have them or may have a need for them. So, for example, with the iPad or iPhone, here in accessibility options, we have different things. So some of the things such as, again, being able to have a connection with a TTY device, or even your hearing devices is actually great. And that's so wonderful, whether it be hearing aids or even actually with a cochlear implants too as well. So with that, that can be great because again, not only do you actually have that opportunity to see it or get hearing as it relates to talking on the phone, in some cases you also may be able to use it with other things that you may be working on too as well. So if, for example, if you're using an iPad, and you also are working on something with work productivity that you're typing, but you're using a read aloud response coming, for example, with Microsoft Word, you can actually have it read. And because if you have your cochlear implant connected, you can actually have it going directly to your cochlear implant. And that's something that's wonderful that actually can be very beneficial, or your hearing aid, depending on what type of device that you have. In addition to that, again, there's other specifics as it relates to it. As we go into the settings, and within the settings, that we go into the accessibility features there for that. And then we go into the settings again as it relates to the hearing accessibility and take a look at the options that they have. Now, there's various type of options that are made available, that could be utilized as a part of it. We talked about the connection as it relates to how it can be connected with your hearing devices themselves too as well. In addition to that, you also can have it where you're looking at as far as sound recognition and again, getting to specifics as it relates to sounds too as well, and being able to, again, modify and have that to something that can be added with that. One of the other features is called live captions, which this again on your iPhone, which is great. This works very well because when you activate this particular feature, it actually continues to run on your device as a separate piece. And so you have the ability to pause it or turn it on when you want to. And it works very well if you're having real-time conversations in close proximity with someone there where you can have the real-time captions that are there. But in addition to that, it also works well too, also if you're talking on the phone. So you can have, again, those additional captions real time that has it there. When it's actually not running and it is dormant, it actually drops down to a small square that can actually be moved around your screen so you can still access your other icons on the screen. And not it won't take away from that. But when you need it, you can expand it, and then you can also use it too as well. And people who may not have known that it's there are finding that it is working actually in benefit. I have it running on my phone, and again during the period of time that I was having challenges, it definitely was something that was helpful for me. And I did not turn it off even with me actually being able to actually get better as far as the blockage was concerned, but I still have it on the phone now because I find it as a good benefit too as well. And so again, there is the area in the settings with the live captions that you are able to turn it on, and you're also able to take a look at as far as doing a little bit of a modification as it relates to the appearance. In addition to that, we have the area for as far as audio visual. It gives you a little bit of options to be able to, again, do the balance between the left and the right side as far as that's concerned. But the other great thing that comes on the audio visual that a lot of people may not be aware of, some of you I'm sure are, is the lead flash for alerts. When you actually activate that particular feature, it allows you to get flashes of light for notifications. So, for example, if you get a phone call that comes in, not only does the phone, of course, you can have notifications where you can have it on vibrate, but let's say if the phone is not on your body where you would not feel a vibration, or you're not close enough to even hear a vibration, the phone can actually be setting where it actually will flash once a phone call comes in. Now, in addition to that, it does flash if you have other notifications that come in. But the key thing is that this gives you an option to be able to be alerted that you may have a phone call coming in or even some type of notification that needs your attention. And this is and then again another option, that you can have. And again, it's something easily, if you want to have it on for a period of time, you can have it on and then you can turn it off if you don't want it on all the time. This is also another feature that I use and continuously use and have found it to be beneficial, especially if I need, again, alerts that the phone is ringing and I am not nearby in order to hear it or to feel it with the vibration. And then there's also sound amplification apps, which we actually have as far as amplifying. Now, these vary based upon what you have too as well. And what I found is that again, there's not one that works, just totally best for any or one thing. And these are different ones that you may have to try out. There are those that are free. And of course, with it being free, of course, there are limitations as with anything else. But there is the options, to have this as an additional boost, to actually have for the hearing as well. What we found is, of course, those who are using hearing aids and cochlear implant devices necessarily, don't work as well as, again, just having your devices connected with the, hearing features within your phones too as well. And that's something that's more beneficial as opposed to just having an amplifier. But again, these are options that you have that you can check out to see, is it something that will work for you? Is it something that may be beneficial for you? Also, of course, you know that there's different, relay services too as well if you use them. It's been notable that certain people have actually used a variety of relay services, not just one, if they use them, and found that by doing so, that it could be beneficial by having the multiple there. But again, these are options in which you can actually have. available for you, whether you're using, the iPhone or iOS, or you're using Android devices too as well. Again, in some cases, that may be something that you may find that these things are more beneficial to you if you use in some cases than others, and then learning what things that you may have in reference to be able to do. I always tell people it's always good to have, the technology tools and resources around you and just having them available so that you can have that to use, as a resource. But again, it takes trying them out to see what works best for you. And then, of course, transition to Android phones. In many of the same ways, we actually have the Android phones, and with the Android phones, we have also those accessibility options which have been added to them too as well. And with that, it also talks about going into the settings, and we know that there's different or various Android phones. So depending on the type of phone that you would have, how it's actually set up for you to go to the options to be able to do the features there. One such option that's there is called the live transcribe, and that's what converts the sounds into text and display it on the screen and easier understanding as far as it has conversations. In similarity, to what we're seeing on the iPhone too as well. And again, this is the opportunity for individuals to have that that real-time conversation or live options as far as having it transcribed in reference to that. And this is something that's actually found to be great because, again, it gives opportunity to have that information to go from there. They even show here how the information, as far as being able to copy the conversation, that you can actually save the information if you want to be able to refer back to it as well, based upon what was said. So this is great too if you want to be able to have it where, example, you're actually getting the information of the conversation, the notes taken for you, and you can refer back to it if you choose to do so. Also, again, I'll automatically have as far as, the live captions to videos and podcasts, and also making them be accessible for individuals too as well. And again, in many cases, this is based upon the video or the podcast being allowed for the caption to be able to take place. But the opportunity to be able to have it too is wonderful when it's available, so that individuals, if they choose to do so, can have the information in text of what's being said on the video or also being said in the podcast. Sound notifications. The sound notifications, just as in the same manner as reference to that, also includes incorporated such as the vibration too as well. And this is with the flashing of the screen too as well. So again, whenever those alerts come through, again, you have the multiple ways that the notifications can actually allow the individual to know what may be occurring. So going back to again, the idea in reference to what we talked about as far as the doorbell that was talked about too as well. There's sometimes they could be connected in order to get that alert that's going through your phone that can actually provide what's needed. So again, if it's going through that and you get a notification and there's the flashing, you get it from a visual for the flash. If you have the phone that is actually in close proximity to your body, it also potentially can have the vibration too as well. So again, allowing for various notification options in order to be able to notify that really just goes beyond to hearing it. And then, of course, with the notifications there, your sound too as well, again, coming up again with those alerts that comes to the phone itself, and that there may be and have the option there for that the ones actually alerted to with the information. So having the varied responses is definitely important, and that will be helpful, for individuals to have. In addition, they also have the potential to have real-time text. And this allows the individuals who are communicating, whether it be on the phone for some-day communications, who prefer or need to use the text. It doesn't require any special hardware like the TTY. However, the wireless service has or carrier, has to support it. So if your wireless carrier or service actually supports it, that may be an option based upon what you could use for that, and find that could potentially be beneficial. Again, this was just showing another sound amplifier as what was shown with the iPhone. And again, the sound amplifiers do vary in what they do. One of the things again was noted that even though it does better with music or things being piped through, or watching a video that may be there, but it doesn't unfortunately have the piece where in many cases that you're having it increased as a telephone conversation. So again, there are certain things that do have limitations, and it's really taking a look at seeing what things may work for you. All right. Here again, talk about just having information in reference to know how to make adjustments needed for your phone, especially the iPhone. Again, there's going to be something too. It's going to be recorded, so I put information about a YouTube up there that talked about helping individuals to be able to go into their settings and also personalize those audio adjustments as it relates to the Android device. And again, certain things may be different. But this just gives you a resource to be able to take a look at to see how this can actually be helpful for you to make those adjustments and see some of the things that may work for you if you don't already have them. Again, also, we have other features such as audio descriptions. And with the audio descriptions turned on, where you can actually hear what's happening on the screen, whether it be supported through if you're taking a look at a movie that you may be streaming, a show that you may be watching too as well. There are those who have found that they actually have benefits to have, again, that actually activated and used on your phone in reference to that. And again, we're talking about, again, it could be various features that you are turning on and using, or some, if you want to turn them off, you do have the ability to turn them off as well. This was us actually talking about the cochlear implant too as well, that, again, you guys, some of you actually have cochlear implants. And as we said before, we don't have cochlear implants or hearing aids here, but we do have, again, the ability to demonstrate how they may be able to be connected, whether it be to your phone, whether it may be to your tablet too as well, or in other cases too, and how if you already don't have the connection made there, there's something that you can try out, be demonstrated, and may benefit from. And this was just, again, showing more information about video relay services with both that potentially can be used with both iOS and Android devices. Now the devices for hearing. In addition to again, what we have, with already devices that you may have, whether it be TV, your phone or tablet devices, we do actually have various devices that we have here in the AT Resource Center. And again, you have the ability to be able to come in and take a look at to see what may be available for you to take a look at and have. This one device here, which is called Earcoustics, this is interesting. It was actually made by a local inventor here. And he invented it based upon his neighbor was a veteran. And he always observed when he would visit his neighbor that the TV would always be turned up. And he was wondering, he was asking, why is the TV turned up? And of course, the answer was that the neighbor could not hear, so he would turn up the TV loud. And so the inventor decided to say, can I invent something that can help my neighbor actually be able to hear the TV better? This particular device has no electronic components to it. It actually is designed like a half-cut headphones, if you will. And the design is actually designed in a way that when the individuals turn towards the TV or towards the show itself, as the sound carries, the sound is actually cupped in by the partial cut of the headphones with the ear. And what it does is it brings about amplification. And so we do have a pair that's actually here at the AT Resource Center, and there has been people who've come in and have been found for it to be helpful. And so this is something to show too, as well as that just because we say technology, it doesn't mean that it has to include electronics as well. This is considered assistive technology because it is able to help someone to be able to hear better in this case. Now, please note, It is specifically for when you're sitting in front of either the TV or a show. It doesn't work as well as the sound is coming from behind or it's coming out from the side. It does only work primarily the best when you're actually sitting in front of where the sound is coming from and you're getting the actual sound waves that are being cuffed and kept to be able to hear. And we also have things such as noise canceling headphones too as well. There's people who have found benefit to the noise canceling headphones also. What they found is if there's extraneous noise, that's actually found in their environment and they need it for it to be quiet, then actually can happen to go from there. Surprisingly enough, we found that as people are going back to work in the different offices, that the offices are much louder now than they were before when more people were teleworking. So now there's a situation where even the different businesses and even the government are asking people if they want noise canceling headphones just to be able to make sure that there's not too much chatter in the office environment. But this works again with anywhere where individual may feel if there's too much extraneous noise and they need to have that noise canceled out too also. And we know as well as that a lot of the other, again, as technology has improved, a lot of the headphones now even have that noise canceling just as a part of it, and it helps to distinguish between noise out there, depending on the type of headphones that you have. Here are two pieces of technology that we have on site, which is actually called, and it's by Be Here. We have one that's actually called the Be Here Proxy. That's the one to the left of the screen that actually can rest on your shoulders. With this particular assisted listening device, the part that's on your shoulder is a speaker, and so again, it can actually be amplified and actually to hear. This works in conjunction with your smartphone or smart device, a tablet that you have. It's Bluetooth enabled. And so again, you can get the hearing, whether it be from the speaker part, but if you notice at the end, it also has earbuds, retractable earbuds as well. Those earbuds can be actually used and placed in the individual's ear. And again, you can hear through the earbuds with that. Again, with it being connected to the phone, again, you can have it. So, of course, you also are able to answer your phone and hear phone call conversations too as well. We've had several people who have worn cochlear implants who've come in and who've taken it with them to try out, and they were surprised how well it worked. And so some have said that they found that they used it even making a connection with their smart TV too as well, and found that they were able to give a rest, to the cochlear implant and just use that for that period of time. And others again, yeah. So when people have taken it, they said they've actually been surprised at how it's worked. Now, there's some people who may not like the fact of, again, having the earbuds, or have that too as well. Oh, and I just wanted to let them know too as well. In some cases, with the earbuds, you can turn off the Bluetooth function too as well, because some people don't like the Bluetooth function being on. And so when it does work in conjunction with the application on your phone, you can actually set the balance between what level that you want between your left and your right ear. So if you need more amplification in your right ear, it will allow you to modify to put more amplification in your right ear as opposed to your left, or vice versa. So it gives you the opportunity to do so. The other technology product by B here is called the Smarto. This one has a traditional type of headset that goes with it. So there are individuals who like that piece that they would prefer to have a headset as opposed to something that goes around their neck. And the actual the amplification device itself has a clip on it, so it can actually clip to a belt or to your pants easily while you have the headphones on. There are those who like this particular version as opposed to the other one, just because again, it's something that fits their needs or fits them. So this is something to be able to try out to see which one actually best meets your needs too as well. Yeah, or if it's something, or if either one of these technologies is something that you may like or even can benefit from. And so here we talk about there's various type of technologies that we have that can be looked at even beyond that for hearing. We have technologies for vision. We have technologies for physical impairments. We have technologies also for smart home technologies too as well, or even technologies for cognitive purposes as well. So we have all type of technologies that are available, and you're welcome to come in and actually take a look to see what we have. And if you have something that you may be looking for to see, you can take a look at the see and check it out. And even though the whole point is that if you take it with you, you haven't paid anything for it. If you come back, if it doesn't work, just like with Russell, at least you've had something that you tried out to see if something that you can try it before you buy it. Again, this is just to show that we do have various items such as smart home technologies too that we've actually found too as well. One of the things that works well too is like the trackers that we have too as well. The child GPS trackers work well with the Android phones, but of course you have your Apple trackers too also that works well. And because it does push out push notifications as far as sounds, they can actually be used in conjunction with your phones in order to give you alerts through your phones or those notifications that can help you too as well. So again, if you lose your keys, for example, and you're trying to find those keys, you can use the tracker and the application that will be on your phone device to help you to be able to find them. In addition, there's other type of things that are available too as well to take a look at too in the smart home section. Everything from lights too as well, or smart plug enabled things as well. And in addition to that, things such as the Amazon Echo Show. And we have different versions of the Amazon Echo Shows too as well for you to be able to look at. The DC Assistive Technology Program, in addition to providing the device demonstrations, what we talked about, also device loans if you find something to be. Also provides right now alternative financing program. And basically what that is that is a low interest or no interest loan. So again, if you find something depending on the amount that's there, there are particular loans that reference available as far as no interest or low interest too as well. I know there's something that's not a lot of people would like to do so as well. But knowing that there are challenges out there with financing and there's now limited to the type of supports out there, there may be a need at some point to take a look at that potentially, which I would hate to say is an option. But again, nevertheless, it is an option that is available. We have on our website that you can go to where you can take a look at as far as the application, if you would like to use it, to go from there. In addition to that, we also have a program which is called DC Shares. This is our reutilization program. It is here that we have different various equipment that's been donated, in which people, if they have a need, and if we have it in inventory, can actually get them. This includes things such as wheelchairs, walkers, chairs and seats and equipment too as well. And it is actually based upon low income, but you can always call our program to see again if you qualify for it. This is a very good program too as well, especially when again limited as far as income is concerned and what may be out there. Now, the last program is what I'm excited about. I wanted to share, which is called our Get Connected program. Now, with this program, if you actually have challenges where you call and you said, hey, I did want to do more with my TV. I did want to do more with my smartphone or my iPhone, but I just need assistance and help with it. My colleague, Ms. Deborah Kill, she is available to actually to set up an appointment, and if need be, come to you, or you can come to the resource center too as well, and she can help you get connected and set up in the way that's possible. And in some cases, if necessary, too as well, I'm available also. But the great thing is that you don't feel that you have to do it alone, because certain things sometimes going through as far as technology and getting things set up, it can actually, can be something, that can be anxiety driven too as well, just trying to get it right. So we want you to know that we have a resource here called Get Connected that you're able to call. It's at no cost. So there's no charge for it. You can actually call, have an appointment set up and you can work on getting connected to the technology resources around you if need be. All right. In addition to that, we do things such as what we're doing today with outreach. We do provide information assistance for information that's available to as well as resources. We do provide training too also as well, in more specific type of training, which gets into instruction that a part of the Get Connected will, not only set you up, but also talk with you about how to use it and get that through. So that piece is also a part of the Get Connected program. If we get into specifics, as we get into more detailed training, is when we actually start to charge fees for that. We also provide technical assistance to different programs too, as well as far as what technical assistance may be needed in order to help them to better be able to provide services to the community at large. We have things, resources like, for example, the National Institute of Deafness and Other Communication Disorders. I have that. I know that this is going to be posted, so there's the website that's there. Please note that currently on the website is the wrong telephone number. This is the actual number that should be called if you're going to reach out to them. Under the current situation with all the changes, the website will tell you they're not updating the website at this time. So I just wanted to make sure that the correct information was available for you to look at if you wanted to take a look at information for resources. And that again will be available on the resource page. Here's our contact information too, as well, if you want to get in contact with us. I'm listed here. Our direct number is the 547-0198 at the top number. That's 202. My direct extension is 137. If you want to get connected with my colleague, Ms. Deborah Kell, again, you would call the same main number, but her extension is 141. And then our program manager, her name is Miss David Rucker. She can be reached at extension 105. Now, we also have our DC shares, which is not located in this area. It's actually located at DC shares, which is 1301 Belmont Street Northwest. And that phone number is provided there. If you need assistance with that, you can speak to my colleague, Mr. Reginald Taylor, and he can be reached at extension either 400 or 401. And sometimes you may find that the program manager, Ms. David Rucker, is there, or even Deborah Keel, it may be there as well. And so these are the services that we are happy to provide and happy to be able to offer, to the community at large. We want to let you know that we're there for you. And if there's a need, please feel free to reach out to us in any form or way if you have a need to do so. And thank you so much. I see with the time, wanted to find out, did anybody have any questions?